Okay, friends, we're back for another episode of No Rules, Random Thoughts of a Swiftie. My name is Brianna, not a lifelong Swiftie, but like a good portion of my life. And if you don't know, I also own a business with my husband called Gotham Production Studios. We're a podcast production company here in New York City. And I am recording, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the studio I'm recording in our network studio. That's right, No Rules, Random Thoughts of a Swiftie is part of the Gotham network. So feel free to check that out. If you love podcasts and you kind of want to dip your toes into some other content, that's a good place to go check out. And I'm really proud of it. So just wanted to plug that. I do want to dive in right away to this episode because I have a very, as you can imagine, random thought. And I feel like this is one of those episodes though that I'm going to get some people confirming this one. I don't think I'm alone. I know I get some random Swiftie thoughts sometimes, but this is one where I'm like, the girlies are going to get it. The girly pops, they're going to know. So please let me know if this is true or if I'm on an island all by myself. Either way, happy to be there because I feel very confident in my thought today. And that is, I really like to listen to Taylor Swift albums all the time, but during seasons. You too? You? Me? Anybody else? Okay, because I have such a guttural, visceral love of listening to Folklore late summer, early fall. And I know August is on there, of course, but it's more than that. There's something about that album. We're going to get into the other ones that I correspond with other things, but like, come on. Folklore during late summer, early fall. I'm talking July, August, September specifically, because it fits so perfectly in there. The songs are such a vibe. It still kind of goes along with like having the windows down and that warm weather. And August, obviously in August is perfect, but I still stand by that there are other, songs on there that just vibe with that season. And then you go into Evermore, and Evermore is the perfect witchy, cold. You think about it goes perfectly from October to November to December. And again, I want to emphasize, I listen to all Taylor Swift all the time. This is not the only time I listen to these, but I'm just saying when August comes around, when July and August comes around, I'm like, put Folklore on all the time. I want it repeated. It's the only thing I can think about. And I have a couple others. I feel like, so Folklore, Evermore, for me, springtime, because we're kind of still in that time right now. Springtime is now associated with Tortured Poets Department, just because that's when it was released. And I have listened to Tortured Poets Department for the entire year that it's been out. So it's in all seasons, but sometimes it's either the songs, sometimes it's the vibe, sometimes it's the time she released it that I just get so caught up in listening to an album during a specific season. Another one for me is that like Reputation. I'm sorry. I know she has New Year's Day on there. It does not give me winter vibes. Like Reputation is such a summer album to me. 1989 summer album, because I do associate a lot of those like high energy, good like beats and bass and all of that with windows down, cruising type of music, camping at the beach. I don't know, just like on a speaker, playing out loud for everyone to hear, of course. It gives summer. I'm sorry. Reputation is such a vibe. I could understand Reputation in like an October area, just because again, that kind of like dark lipstick, dark clothes, dark everything, like vibe. I get it. But to me, it's a summer album. And I would love for you to try to change my mind. But I'm just going to continue to listen all the time, especially during the summer. I think with spring, we talked about Tortured Poets, but I also feel like Fearless is a spring album. I don't know why. I don't have any, there's nothing in there that says it is. Maybe it's just the color of the album. I'm going to be honest. Like that yellowy, goldy, sunshiny thing when it just starts to get warm again. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with. I have no idea why I would think that. And then let's see. I think Speak Now, I guess, could be considered spring. I'm not a huge Speak Now fan. We all know this. Go back and check that episode if you don't know. So I don't really listen to that album that much. But I know that's very harsh. I'll give everybody just a second to sit with that. Okay. So there are ways that I could sell every single album to be a part of a season, except for one. There is one album in Taylor's discography that, to me, has no draw to any season. There's no vibes that make me feel a certain way. Like I said, like windows down type. And it's Midnights. Midnights is a mystery. I don't have any sort of inclination to listen to this at a specific time in the year. It is one of those albums that I really like. I had to do the hard look and hard work to figure out. I know what my top 3 Taylor Swift albums are, but I was like, honestly, I love so many. Can I please extend it to top 5? I'm talking to myself because nobody put these parameters on me. It's just myself. And I said, yes, girl, you are allowed to have your top 5. And so I said, okay, if I had a top 5, it would be in no particular order. I love them all. Folklore, 1989, Reputation. If I'm being honest, Evermore. And my 5th would be Midnights. Like, I love Tortured Poets Department. Do not get me wrong. But when I think about listenability and I think about just, there is something so satisfying about the Midnights album. And there's really not too many songs on there that I'm like, oh, I'm just not in the mood for right now. You know what I mean? There's like maybe one, but there's more than one on Tortured Poets Department that I'm like, it's not a skip all the time, guys. I don't want to say all the time, but like there are just some times when I don't vibe and want to hear Robin. I'm so sorry. It doesn't do anything for me. It's a beautiful song and I love Taylor Swift and she can do no wrong, and please don't hate me and please don't tell her I said this, but I just feel like sometimes I can't listen to Robin. Also, like I can fix him. No, really, I can't. I can't listen to that song. It doesn't do it for me. But on Midnights, I think that rounds out my top 5. And to bring it back to what this episode is about, I just don't get a season with it. I would love to know if you feel a season, because then going forward, I could really try to like hone in on listening to it during that time and see if the, pieces connect for me. But yeah, I don't have a season for that one. I feel like every other one you could argue something for, even like, Taylor Swift, the first album, and Fearless and Speak Now. I feel like all of those, because they were her younger writing eras, and that's when things were coming out, like when she was still in school, I would put that in that spring category of just like back to school vibes and things like that. But yeah, I think 1989, definitely summer, just the imagery alone, but just how the songs feel. And I'm trying to think, make sure I'm going through all the albums and I didn't forget any. Can you imagine the drama if I forgot a Taylor Swift album? Let me just remember. Red! Sorry, oh my God. Not me forgetting Red, one of the greatest albums of all time. Not in my top 5, but still. Red is 100% an autumn, really fall, strong fall. I wouldn't even think August, really. I'd be like mid to late September, October vibes, like those 2 months. Oh, that's Red, babe. That's definitely Red. Okay, so then I got Red in there. Red, and then, oh my God, you guys, why do I do this? I always forget about Lover. That was me smacking my own hand. There are some of my favorite songs are actually on Lover. I just don't understand why as an album, I don't think about it often. Like when I think about Taylor Swift's discography and everything that she's ever done, for some reason, Lover always evades me. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that album dirty like that. But I would also categorize Lover as a summer album for me. It could be like a late spring, blooming, flowers, love is in the air, all the things. So sorry. I kind of forgot about that one. But yeah, I think that's it. I think I got them all now. How embarrassing for me that I forgot about Lover. You can feel free to shame me in the comments. I think I deserve it a bit. And actually, I'm going to go home and listen to that right now. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, for watching, for doing all the things, for supporting. I really love doing this podcast. It's silly, it's goofy, but I really hope it resonates. And if it does, please let me know your Taylor Swift thoughts, because this is not one of those things where I just want to be talking into a void and I don't know anybody else's random Taylor Swift thoughts. The whole point was to hear your guys' thoughts. So please, if you're listening, actually, you can leave comments on Spotify, so that's an option for you if you're listening there. If you're Apple, feel free to navigate over towards YouTube or to the email, norulesswiftiepod@gmail.com. You can find the podcast on socials at norulesswiftiepod. And yeah, we can connect. We can talk all things Taylor Swift and tell me all your thoughts. If you want to share something and I can read it on the podcast, please let me know when you reach out so that way other Swifties can learn about us. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of No Rules, Random Thoughts of a Swiftie, and I will see you in the next one.